Yesterday, I put out a DC Dark Legion video posing the question whether you should upgrade your Wonder Woman to Mythic. I provided a little bit of information about why you potentially should hold off on doing the upgrade, and I'm glad I did, honestly, because there have been a couple of things that happened today that have fixed all of the issues that people were facing over the weekend. So the two major issues that we brought to the attention of the developers were, number one, that a 5 blue Mythic Wonder Woman was not quite on parity with a 5 red legendary Wonder Woman, and they have now addressed that by adjusting the amount of shards that you get of Wonder Woman, or the amount of stars that you get when you do the ascension. So now she's going to be a 5 purple as soon as you ascend her, and then you'll have to obtain her shards in order to get her to 5 red, just like any other normal mythic. The other complaint was that you couldn't get her shards in Brawl store, which is where they promised that she would show up, and they have since upgraded. They have since also patched that, so you can now, I believe you have to at least have your Wonder Woman at 5 red legendary in order to see the shards. We can jump in and I'll show you. You can see that my Wonder Woman is 5 red right now, 5 red legendary. She's not been upgraded, but I do have the pearl in my inventory. And if we go over into the shop, go to Meta Brawl, you can see that her mythic shards and her legendary shards are both available here. I suppose you could buy those legendary shards still once you have your mythic Wonder Woman up to 5 red, so you could farm Worldline particles, but otherwise obviously don't touch those if you already have her ready to go. But just wanted to point out that the shards do show up here. I spoke to a couple of people who said that they do not have Wonder Woman at 5 red legendary yet, and these shards do not appear. So definitely a triggering event in order to get them here, but they did add them in. I will say just quickly that I do think it's very expensive for the shards to cost 3,600 a piece like Raven and Bane. I did talk about that in the video. So it is going to take you quite a long time in order to get additional stars on your Wonder Woman. But the fact that they are going to allow her to start out at 5 purple stars instead of 5 blue stars is really nice. And also it sounds like her stats are on parity with the legendary version. And with that being said, what I'd like to do for you is show you exactly what it looks like to take your Wonder Woman from legendary to mythic. We're going to look at all of her stats as legendary, and then we're going to take another look at those stats as mythic, just to make sure that we have a good comparison for exactly what changes, or make sure that those changes are correct. We talked a little bit about some of those kit changes. We are going to see additional stun duration in the kit and some additional defense. So we know that the kit is going to be stronger. Just want to make sure that those stats are going to be on parity like we talked about. So let's jump over, and what you will do is click the pearl so that you can upgrade, and then you'll see, and they actually just patched this in the last couple of hours, because it was still showing blue stars here, even though when you did the ascension, it was giving the purple. But just something that I didn't really touch on previously, for those who don't have her quite where she needs to be to do the ascension, you can come in here and see what the new tags are going to be, what the new skills will be. Something that I didn't talk about before, she is going to be the first champion in this new portrait version of the game, the global launch version of the game, who has 4 tags. So really nice to see the Amazon's tag being applied to her, and I'm really hoping that we'll see more champions get a 4th tag in the weeks and months to come, because it's been really fun to kind of test out some of these 3 tag synergy teams and see how many tags you can get. The other thing that I'll point out here is you can see the new skills. So you'll be able to compare the old skills that you currently have on your legendary version of Wonder Woman to these new skills. I'll point out the ones that are going to be changing. So the legendary version gives you 2-second stun when you have her at full 5 red stars, and you can obtain an additional second from using force talents. Now they're just giving you the 3 seconds on the stun. And then for the Ultimate, it used to be, I believe, a 2-second stun, and they have now changed that to 2.5 seconds. So that's really nice. Without further ado, let's first of all, we'll note that her attack power is 590,199. And then we can go into her stats, and you can slow scroll this if you want to take a look at everything. But there it is. Most of these I think are unchanged at the bottom. But main ones we're going to be looking at are the attack, defense, min, and HP. So try to remember those, and then let's go ahead and do the upgrade. A bit anticlimactic, but we got 129,000 attack power on her, so that's actually really good to see. This is actually going to be my highest star mythic, by the way, but let's go in and look at the stats. And it looks like everything is roughly the same here. Again, we'll have to go back and take a look at, you'll be able to easily rewind a couple of seconds and see what she was before. I didn't write it down, but it looks like everything is definitely the same or higher. So I'm really happy with this. I was waiting to do my upgrade until I got confirmation that the numbers were going to be like this, because we were kind of told that it was going to be on parity. I'm really happy to see that the devs realized their mistake and corrected it for us. You can now get the shards. I think the only major issue right now is that there are some people who had already done the upgrade that still have a blue star Wonder Woman. I feel bad for those people. I know that the devs are currently working on a workaround or a patch to make sure that those people get their Wonder Woman to the correct star level. So be on the lookout for that. I'm not sure how they'll do it and how long it's going to take, but my understanding is that it is in process right now. They're trying to figure that out. Future Quantum here with a quick emergency update. I was editing this video and Helen decided to drop a little bit of extra news for us. There was one missing link that I mentioned in this video already about how people who had already upgraded their Wonder Woman had a 5 blue Wonder Woman, and with the new changes, you're getting a 5 purple. They are going to be manually crediting the remainder of the shards to anyone who did that. It's just going to take a few days to do that. They're having to manually go through and figure out who did the upgrade before the change versus after, so that they can do those upgrades. So be patient. They're going to get around to you in the next few days. Obviously, if you haven't gotten those additional shards by the end of this week, then maybe put in a ticket, but you should be getting them very soon. And just as a bonus update here, it looks like the Bleed Rules update is going to hit this week. Looks like it's scheduled for June 19th. And the rules change will take effect on your server's first new hypertime tracker after the update. So Supergirl's banner is going to start for servers 200 through 205 on June 20th, which means that the effects will happen with Supergirl's banner for 200 through 205. And for all the other servers, post-launch servers, you should be seeing that with whatever the next bleed champion is for your server. So any existing tracker that is in existence as of today will not be affected by this. And I'll cover this in more detail on the actual update video for this week, so stay tuned for that one. Just wanted to kind of throw that in because it was part of this news that Super Helen gave us about Wonder Woman. So that should do it for this, and we'll get back to the video. I hate to have this little bit of a hiccup for the folks who already had their Wonder Woman ready to go. For everyone else, just know that from the point of this video, so June 16th, at about 9:45 US Eastern Time, the event is fixed, and you'll be able to ascend your Wonder Woman and have quite an annoying Guardian in PvP and some of the other game modes. I'm definitely interested in testing her out in several places, including the training simulator nodes for the Justice League Dark team. So I may do some videos on that if I'm able to make considerable progress from where I'm at right now. But otherwise, I appreciate you watching this quick update video. Just didn't want to leave anyone hanging from the video that I made yesterday. And looking forward to bringing you some new content on some other aspects of the game very soon. I've got a Drowned Phase 2 video that's going to be coming out later this week, so be on the lookout for that one, and I'll see you in the next video.